Ladies and gentlemen, all rise. Court is back in session. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Devil's Due. I am your host, Carl Duty. With me, as always, is a man who lives in a pineapple under the sea, Mr. Drew Celestino.
Man, I missed out on the whole SpongeBob phenomenon.
So did I.
I lived through it, but I did not partake in it. And I think I'm a little too old to have partaken in it. So
yeah,
it's lost on me a little bit.
But the theme song, it's catchy.
Sure?
Gets stuck in your head.
I guess so.
Sure.
I
mean, there's a Broadway musical of it now, so.
Of course there is.
How's it going, sir?
Hi.
Here we are, folks, back again after an unplanned week off, but life finds a way.
It does.
And we are happy to announce that we are christening first the Cobra Island 3.0 studios.
It's still...
It's very bare.
It's under construction still. And a little threadbare, but...
It's a soft open. This is
a soft opening. Our menu's not ready yet.
No.
Just serving drinks for now.
Yeah. Street Fighter's not working.
No, not quite. Our ski balls have been stolen.
Yeah. You only get one life for 50 cents on turtles.
Oh, robbery. Oh, my Lord. Hey,
but here we are.
What's going on?
How's it going, sir? It's been a hot minute since we did the show.
It has.
How have your weeks been?
Busy? Yeah, busy.
As they're like to be with a baby.
Well, yeah, there is that to contend with. Just a lot of stuff going on. If I'm trying to remember, 2 weeks ago, we opted out for some reason.
You had family that had a chance to meet Grant.
That's right. That's correct. Well, that was that... Wait, no, that was last week.
That was last week.
What about the week prior?
We recorded.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. All right. So, yeah, we had family that wanted to meet little Grant Man, and... that was cool. Any chance we get to show him off is always a good time. He still got the new car smell and stuff, so it's fun. But after that, I went to the Life of Agony concert at Buffalo Ironworks as well. That was about later in the evening after the gathering. That was excellent. They killed, son. They're a band that's been through a lot of turmoil over the last 20 years. They've been active, inactive. Their singer transitioned to a female, and it's just been
Still the same singer?
Yeah.
Cool.
And she's awesome. She's arguably she was better now than the last time I saw them 10, 15 years ago maybe. So yeah, it's killer. They put so much energy into their performance. Their albums are great, especially their first few. But that's a band that's Exhibit A of the live show is what sells the band.
Yeah.
The records are good, but watching them perform is a whole nother level. They put on a performance like few bands do. And what I mean by that is it's at Ironworks. It's not it's not like pyro and screens and crap.
Yeah.
I just mean throwing down hard, and they threw down hard, and it was awesome. We chatted up Joey Z, the guitar player, after the show, and a funny Joey Z story. So the last time Jason, my best friend, and I saw Joey Z, it was in New Jersey at the Prudential Center. We're going back to 2008 or 2009 now. Yes, January 2009. Back-to-back nights at Prudential Center to see Metallica, and we saw Joey Z in line at Will Call to pick up his tickets, and we were like, "Is that Joey Z?" And we were because we're fanboys, so we're like, "Hey, Joey!" And he's like, "Yeah!" And he was all excited that someone recognized us. And he chatted us up, and that was a decade ago. And as soon as I walked up to him to say hello at this time, he was just like, "Man, you look familiar." And I was just like, "Yeah, dude. So a decade ago, we saw you at the Metallica." He's like, "Metallica concert." I was like, "You're nuts."
Metallica concert guy.
How do you remember that? So he told us some funny stories. He's friends with Kirk Hammett, and they go fishing together and stuff with their in-laws. And it's like, what are you talking about? You hang out with Kirk on the weekends? What? So that was awesome. It was a really just an awesome show. Well, I mean, really, really awesome show. I was pleasantly blown away by how good it was, and it was just a good night out. And that aside, it's been kind of gatherings with family, cooking dinner, getting good use out of the kitchen. We had a game night. We played
Tiny Epic Western.
Tiny Epic Western, yes. It's a good game.
Yeah. I really, really enjoy that.
Once the mechanics get understood, like towards the end of the game, it was a good game.
There's a lot going on in that game.
There is, but there's not. It once I understood the card system, how to beat the dealer and what you're playing for, clicked, and that's a solid game right there.
I really enjoy the Tiny Epic series. They get a lot of game in those little boxes.
Yeah, although this one is fairly... There's a lot of stuff in this one.
Yeah. It's like you put it out on the table and it looks like a full box.
Yeah, right. But tiny little box.
Tiny little box.
So, I mean, that's...
I think that was all we played that night.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it went on a little long, and I think we had sort of a late start for some reason, but in any case...
We had dinner first.
We did. Thai.
Yeah, Thai.
Your Thai palette is expanding.
I introduced you to Onitama.
Ah, yes, the rotational chess game of Onitama. That was pretty cool.
I like that game a lot.
That's very neat. It's chess, but your movements keep rotating.
Yes, it's chess, but like the pieces specifically don't have movements assigned to them. You select 5 movements to be used throughout the game, and they rotate between the 2 players. Each player has 2 movements they can do in front of them, and then there's 1 movement in reserve. When you perform a movement, you swap out the movement you performed with the one in reserve. Yeah. And it's much more condensed chess. And the game we played was very difficult because there was no forward movements.
No. Yeah.
And that was the first time I played that. We could only ever move diagonally.
It was weird because, like, I thought... it's a cool game, but I was looking at it like, man, this is all it is. It's just kind of weird. So then after we finished, I looked into the cards that weren't drawn.
Yeah.
You draw what, 5?
Yeah, you draw 5.
So I looked into the other ones. I'm like, oh my God, this game is way deeper than what we ended up with. We kind of drew a rough hand.
We had a very weird draw.
Yeah. In any case, cool stuff. So that was good. Other than that, the weekend kind of went by. I'm trying to think of anything of major significance happened. Jay Gelsomino and I and our friend Steve, we watched New Japan Fighting Spirit Unleashed, I think it's called. It was their second event at the place where it all happened, the Walter Pyramid in Long Beach, California. This is their 3rd U.S. show.
Nice.
3rd? Yeah, 3rd. And this time it wasn't nearly as cool because we weren't there. But Jay and I reminisced.
That's science.
But the card was great. It was kind of a glorified house show card. So on paper, people were a little like suspect of how good the show was going to be.
Yeah.
The show ended up being great. Like every match totally delivered. And, New Japan just keeps...
Yeah, New Japan.
Their content is just... They keep putting out great stuff. Their talent is so good, and they bring thunder. And, man, don't sleep on New Japan, people, because it is just getting better. And I'm all for this expansion. I'm all for this global take on the world.
And apparently you are a trainer for wrestlers in New Japan.
Did I tell you about that? I did tell you about that.
You did tell me about that.
I swear to God, man, no less than 3 times since I've got my New Japan Pro Wrestling hoodie.
Yeah.
My zip-up hoodie. And, it's a cool... I love it. This is New Japan 1972.
Getting in that hoodie weather.
Yeah, right. This is the 3rd time that I've gone somewhere in public and someone has looked at it and looked at me and they're like, do you wrestle for New Japan? And I got to go... like, no. This was a new one, too. Like, do you train wrestlers in Japan? I got to just start leaning into it.
Yeah,
yes.
Yes.
Yes, I do. I mean, fake it till you make it, right?
Sure.
My body would not hold up very well if I were a wrestler at this point. So, that's gonna do her. I could that was the weeks.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. How about you? What's going on?
Lots of Nintendo Switch.
Ooh.
Mostly all the online stuff, the Nest streaming library.
Are you playing against anybody? You do
No,
some
no,
competitive play?
No, just doing my thing. Lots of pro wrestling, lots of Gradius, some Super Mario Bros. 3. Got to play some games I never got to play before, like Balloon Fight. And I'm like, hey, this is just kind of like a joust.
It's joust with balloons.
Yeah. Played the Nintendo Soccer.
That one
which
I never
played before.
Okay.
It's as agonizingly slow as Nintendo baseball is. You're just like,
sounds
run
like blast,
faster.
Man. Sounds fun. Ice hockey. Tell me about your ice hockey.
Ice hockey, dude. I am not good at that game at all.
So what you're saying is you may have overstated your ice hockey game.
I never said I was good at it.
Oh, okay.
I just said like this would be my recommended team.
Gotcha.
But yeah, God, that game is great. I find though in my later years, I speed the game up. I think the speed level goes up to 5. I usually would play on a 2 or 3. Now I got to play on a 4, or else it's just like too slow. Trying to think what else.
Did you play the Mega Man 11 demo?
Oh yeah, I've been played that a lot. Never got to the end boss.
No, me neither. That's hard, dude. And I guess the full game's out now. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a while before I get to that one.
It's tough.
Because there's still got to finish Octopath Traveler, which this Nintendo Online service has been a major
distraction
barrier to.
Uh-huh.
And then there's Spider-Man.
Sure is. You know, I was disappointed to hear something about Spider-Man, actually.
What's that?
I guess the further uptown you get in Manhattan, the less accurate the city actually becomes. And the Manhattan in the game stops midway through Harlem. So my friend's neighborhood, for instance, in Washington Heights, I was all excited. Like, I wonder if his building is in the game, and I can. Yeah, it's not in the game. So
sucks.
I'm not gonna lie. That's almost I kind of don't want to buy it anymore, just because I know I'm not gonna see my friend's building. It's so stupid, but like it kind of aggravated me.
That is really stupid. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Sorry, man. It's a selfish reason.
There's been a lot of that. There was something I forgot to mention to you because this kind of connects to another thing. Friend of the show, Nate Lockhart.
Yes.
Been on a couple times. We've been on his show.
Hashtag the memory machine.
The memory machine. We've discussed, I know on both shows at one point or another, his wife, Kate, who is an amazing woman. She's my superhero because of the work she does, trying to save people's homes from foreclosure and whatnot. Kate is a wonderful, wonderful person, but oh dear Lord, does she scare easily. She scares so easily. Like literally, think back to like Scooby-Doo cartoons and like Shaggy and Scooby.
Okay.
Like she's not that brave when it comes to things like, films and TV shows and whatnot. And
yeah.
She scares. So like I had her and Nate over to my house once for Big Trouble in Little China, and she said she had nightmares from that for a little while afterwards. Wow. Big Trouble in Little China is not.
No.
Yeah. So we met up a couple weeks back at Pulp 716 for some coffee, and we're just talking and whatnot, and the subject of, I think it was like a couple movies that Nate, we were talking, it was something along the lines of like movies that kind of predicted where we are now.
Idiocracy.
And I was like, dude, Time Cop and RoboCop.
RoboCop for sure.
And obviously Kate has never seen these films. And somehow it came about that Kate and I struck a deal.
Go on.
We made a bet.
Okay.
That I have to watch Mamma Mia and Mamma Mia 2.
Okay. Godspeed.
And then Kate has to watch the original RoboCop.
So?
And if Kate, we haven't done it yet.
Oh.
Because Mamma Mia 2 isn't out on disc yet. If Kate doesn't complete RoboCop, I think she owes me like 50 or $100, like something like that.
Wow, you guys.
Yeah. We got.
There is money on the table.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Oh yes.
Wow. Okay.
So that is going to happen in the foreseeable future.
RoboCop's a great movie. So
it really is, but there's. Dude, it's so hard to describe.
Well, what's scary about RoboCop? Let's see.
Everything. I mean, from Kate's perspective, everything.
Is she afraid of graphic violence?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. This might be bad for her. Then.
Yes.
Oh God.
I tried to squeeze.
Make sure it's a director's cut, please. The Criterion version. I have
that on DVD. It's gonna be.
Okay,
it's gonna be.
Just checking.
I tried to squeeze Predator in there as well, since I was getting to.
But by the way, I didn't see it, but I didn't want to, and I read the spoilers for it. What this Predators movie? This new Predator movie? What are they doing here?
Listen, man, we've got Predator. To a lesser extent, we've got Predator 2. Anything after that is gravy.
I don't know if it's gravy. More so, it's like, I got my mashed potatoes right here and my gravy. Why are you dumping all this pineapple juice on it? No one wants that. Get that out of here.
So yeah, that's going to happen at some point.
That
soon.
Sounds fun. If she makes it through, man, you might have to give her like part 2 of the Verhoeven trilogy and make her watch Total Recall.
Oh jeez. I don't want to think about what I'd have to watch for that. I don't have. I think she has
Wait a minute. You are a confessed lover of musicals. So you have to watch Mamma Mia? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. My bad. It's a lopsided bet, man.
I think she thinks she pulled a fast one on me.
Little does she know.
Which she really didn't. I might not love Mamma Mia or the sequel, but I don't have the stereotypical disdain for musicals that a lot of guys have.
Right.
I mean, dude, I've been listening to the Greatest Showman soundtrack on Spotify any chance I get. I think Williams is going to be a circus ringmaster for Halloween, just because that's going to look adorable. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So cool. Anyway, that leads to this past Thursday.
Oh, we're not done.
No, we're not done. That was just the beginning.
All right.
That leads to this past Thursday. Nate and I went to see The Glory. That is the 1986 Transformers animated film.
Oh, nice. Big screen?
At big screen.
Yeah.
Regal Cinemas, the Fathom event.
Yeah.
Little disappointed in the picture and sound quality.
Now, do you think
I believe the print could use... The overall film could very much use a legit restoration.
Yeah.
But, it's such a...
Who's going to pay for that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, then again, we're going to have... Well, but we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this.
So, and watching that is just fantastic. Seeing, there are obviously, people my age there and whatnot, but then, some parents have brought their kids. I was like, that's so awesome. They get to see what real Transformers look like now.
Were they bored?
No, they were...
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to be like, they get to see what the real Transformers are. And, Dad, this movie stinks. I want to leave.
You know what? That leads me to my point is that you don't realize it. Maybe you do to an extent, but it doesn't get driven home until you see it in the theater.
Yeah.
And I saw it in theater when it first came out, and this is my first time seeing it in theater since then. I think it's played at North Park a couple times. But that film, once it starts... does not stop.
I heard something.
It does not slow down to catch its breath. As soon as the Decepticons board the shuttle in the beginning, film just goes.
I heard somewhere, I don't know where I heard this, some podcast or some YouTube video I watched. They said that movie, literally, there is music playing throughout the entire film. There are no silent scenes whatsoever.
I would have to go back and do a rewatch again, which I'm never opposed to doing because I love that movie. It's very possible.
That's crazy.
It's just the pace of the film.
They really went all in on that movie.
And it's when you think about it, that film came out towards around the end of the second season of the show.
Right.
So we're talking 80 85. The film came out in 86. The end of the second season of the show is probably 85. And then the film opens up with in the year 2005. Yeah, and so everybody had a big chuckle. There's this huge time jump.
Yeah, it's
from where the show left off to where the movie picks up.
Yeah, it's very strange.
And just like, I'm like, can someone do
The Lost Years or something?
Exactly. Can I get a comic series of that?
I would be shocked if it hasn't been done.
Yeah. Do you know that IDW went back and finished the original Marvel Transformers?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've had great success with the G.I. Joe continuation.
Yeah, I got the
original.
I got the trades of that. So it was called Transformers Regeneration 1. And they picked up from where the Marvel series left off. They had the original writer and artist, and they finished out the story they were intending to tell.
Cool.
So yeah, it was great fun. Lot of good times had with that. Yeah, God, that movie it doesn't stop. It just goes and goes, and 0 to 60, and Ironhide's corpse, and so many corpses.
Did any of those kids cry at Optimus dying?
You know what? No, because they didn't.
I'm pretty sure they know that he gets better, right?
Yeah, he's died multiple times. So that I had gaming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. Friday night was our game night. Then Saturday and Sunday night, I had games with my friend Adam. Saturday night,
was Saturday night. We had Friday. That's Saturday. Okay.
Saturday night, we played Rise of Augustus, which is a very fun game.
I have played that game. It's a good game.
It's almost like a bingo style game.
Kinda.
And then we played Islebound. My copy of Islebound, which is the first time I've played that game in a long time, and just revitalized my love for that game. Such a great game. I would really like you guys to give that game another go, because I feel the mechanics of the game are not going to be as complicated given the games we've played since.
Maybe
when you played that game,
we'll see.
And then Sunday, this past weekend was Adam's birthday. Happy birthday, Adam. So I got Adam a gift card to Dragon Snack Games, and he got a game called Dead Men Tell No Tales. And it's a co-op game where you're all boarding a pirate ship that's on fire. It's a haunted pirate ship. It's on fire, and you got to try and get the treasure and get off the ship before the ship explodes. That game was a lot of fun.
Okay.
And I might pick up my own copy if I can find it somewhere cheap enough. So that was really enjoyable.
Cool.
So that's all my stuff. There was a bunch of bike riding in there. Did another Buffalo Slow Roll.
Good for you.
That was a good time. Ended up in the what is it? The market. The name's escaping me at the moment. Where you get all the pierogies. The market.
Broadway Market?
Yes, Broadway Market. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was a lot of good food to be had there.
Good.
So that was our week's.
Go during Easter.
Well, yeah. Dear listeners, if you would like to tell us about your weeks, if you would like to shoot us any questions or send us some comments to the show, you can do so at the following locations. You can go to Twitter and follow us at Devils Do Pod. You can go to Facebook.com/Devils Do Pod. Give our page a like. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources available to you on our website, thedevilsdopodcast.com. That being said, Drew, we do have some emails from last week. One email.
Bring all the email.
I think this may have been misdirected. It's from Michael Edwards saying, "Hello, this is Michael. I would like to know if you rent dumpster and accept credit card as payment."
I will happily take your credit card information, sir. Dumpster, though? Yeah, you're on your own.
I mean, we can kinda. I mean, I'm sure we could find some sort of plastic bin to give him. He doesn't.
I have questions about how we encountered this email, but let's move on.
I have no idea.
Don't reply to it, whatever you do.
Oh, no.
It could be spam.
I mean, I gave him your credit card information.
Oh, great. That's why I got that fraud alert. Okay, great.
All right, so now on to the Brothers Grimm of the the Devils do, and not these Brothers Grimm who wrote the fairy tales, but the Q-list Marvel villains, the Brothers Grimm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let them sit with that for a while. Okay.
I mean, they're not Z-list.
True.
Yeah.
Are they above Dr. Bong?
To be determined.
Okay. Fair enough.
Mr. J. Gelsomino, Mr. Alan Waiters. First starting with Mr. J. Drew and Carl, what are your thoughts on the Bumblebee trailer? It has G1 Transformers and John Cena. Is this real life? We're going to get into that in the news.
We sure are.
Drew,
Hey.
What's the most Yoshi-Hashi moment? Things are looking good, and then you screw the pooch you ever had.
For me personally?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, wow. I wasn't prepared for this. The first thing that comes to mind would be, I guess, and it's through no fault of my own, really. It's just my body gave out on me. We were doing The Long Cold Dark. Was going to do a big relative term, but we're going to do a multi-band show in Cleveland, Ohio with ourselves, Days Beneath from Cleveland, Ohio, and another friend's band from Indiana that made the trip to Cleveland, Ohio, this band Judgment. And we all met on an internet forum many years ago. We were all very good buddies on the forum, so this was a big deal that all of our bands were getting together for a show. So we all met up at Phil's house from Days Beneath, and we were jamming all day and hanging out and having a good time all together. And through the course of the day, just from hanging out and talking over each other and laughing and, just the whole thing, when it was The Long Cold Dark's turn to take the stage, we start playing, I go to the microphone, and I realize that I have completely blown up my voice before I even started the show, just from the day that was. So I spent the whole day, or the whole set, and rather than having a singing voice of any kind, I basically had to just gut scream almost every song. I had to power through in a very different way, and it was a huge personal disappointment to me. So,
alrighty,
not as bad as Yoshihashi. Just gonna put that out there. Yoshihashi'd himself badly. So you can Google that, kids.
Carl, what would be more tragic? Thanos' finger snap eliminates half of your comic collection. The Human Torch wants to play X-Wing and incinerated your fleet. Or Jaws: The Revenge is remade by Michael Bay.
Ooh.
Yeah, Jaws: The Revenge.
I mean, then again, could it be worse than it was?
You bite your tongue, sir. That movie is cinema gold.
Oh, it's something, all right.
Magic.
Uh-huh.
They harpoon a shark in the neck with a boat.
And it roars at some point.
Well, it roared in the first one.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that. But okay. Moving on.
Yeah.
But did it sound like a lion in the first one?
Listen, have you ever been around a great white shark?
No.
Then you don't know if they roar like a lion.
Oh, okay. I've watched a lot of Shark Week in my day, and I think they would have...
Yeah, but Shark Week's not about education anymore. It's about sensation.
At one point, though, it was.
It was. Did Shark Week ever say they do not roar like a lion? Did they say that specifically?
Probably. At some point.
Well, unless you hear them. They didn't know.
Okay, let's move on.
All right. Now on to Mr. Alan Waiters, Carl and Drew. Which 90s animated series had the best theme song?
Ooh, this is good.
The Fantastic Four.
That's a good one.
Iron Man.
Don't remember that one.
The Incredible Hulk.
Also don't remember that one.
The Silver Surfer.
Also don't remember that one.
Or The Avengers. P.S. I left out X-Men because it's hands down the best.
Yeah. Fantastic Four.
Is X-Men the best? I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. That Fantastic Four one.
The Fantastic Four one is good in that what's neat about it? The tone of it matches the Fantastic Four really nicely. Call the Four.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four. Okay, cool.
Reed Richards is elastic.
It's all good.
Sue can fade from sight.
But But X-Men, though.
Johnny is the Human Torch.
X-Men just has that gravitas.
The thing just loves to fight. No, yeah, you're right.
But amongst the ones he named, the only one I remember is the Fantastic Four. So therefore, it wins in a landslide.
I remember the Hulk. It was not great. I don't remember Silver Surfers or Avengers. Do you remember the Silver Surfer animated series? Nate and I have talked about this a bunch.
I don't. This is some Mandela effect thing. I don't remember that being a thing at all.
It wasn't a thing. It wasn't out for very long because it took Jack Kirby art and like matted it over.
Oh, you're talking like the
3D
60
models.
Oh, whoa.
No, I'm talking about the 90s one.
Whoa, no, I don't remember that one at all.
Oh, dude, you should look it up. It was very ambitious.
I mean, back in the 60s, what Marvel did when they put their shows out.
Yeah, they just like
they took comic cells and just made their mouths move.
Yeah.
It was cheap as hell.
Yeah, no, this was like think of like the early 90s computer animated series, like Reboot, things like that.
Yeah,
so take that and then just texture. Like map Jack Kirby art over that.
I mean, it's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
No, I'm sure if they tried to do it today, it'd be like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. But back then, they reached for the stars.
Yeah, but they could only afford, lower atmosphere.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, one of the promos for the show famously is Hank Hill trying to sell Silver Surfer some propane to power his board. You need to look on your face.
What?
You need to YouTube some of this stuff, man.
You just broke my brain. I don't know what you just said.
Mr. Surfer, you ever think it's propane for that board?
This is a thing?
This is legitimate. I am not making this up. We'll look it up after the show.
Wow. The crossover I never wanted.
Knew I wanted. And
wish I didn't know about. All right, going on.
Carl, which person would you love to work for and hate to work for from the Spider-Man universe? J. Jonah Jameson, Kirk Connors, Wilson Fisk, Dr. Octavius, Adrian Toomes, or Tombstone? I'd love to work for Jameson. Just to be
Would you know? He would just berate you all day.
Yeah, but you know what? He does it in the way where it's like it's funny.
Okay.
You almost kind of want to screw up so he can yell at you.
To be fair, he also has the least chance of killing you.
Yes.
The others might murder you.
I think then I got to go Kirk Connors.
Okay.
Because I'd probably have to be around snakes, and I hate snakes.
Okay, Indy.
Well, dashing good looks, fear of snakes. Things we have in common.
Can't land. All right.
Can't. If my Top Gun record in the Nintendo game is to be believed,
you and everyone else on the planet, dude.
Drew.
Hey.
Sticking with the 90s, which Marvel character had the best cameo in a Marvel cartoon?
Ooh.
There's some good ones.
Mostly
I remember like Spider-Man being much more cameo heavy than X-Men was.
X-Men really didn't have many.
They didn't have a ton.
Just because they if anything,
Spider-Man did Secret Wars.
You know what's amazing? The X-Men animated series almost like set us up for a world where the X-Men movies don't touch the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's got to be the Spider-Man show, and it would have to be any episode where the Punisher or Daredevil appeared in it. Like that.
Those were good ones.
That's incredible to me. That could happen.
Blade was good.
Blade showed up. Yeah, that was man.
Secret Wars. They did Secret Wars.
It's got to be one of those. It just has to be.
Cool, guys. Thanks again.
Oh, hey, real quick, just back to the theme song thing.
Yeah.
You know what song stunk? Even though the show itself was incredible.
What?
Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. The one that came out prior to the movie.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember because
it was pop punk metal garbage, and it was really bad. It was cheesy it just did not fit. It was a pop song essentially. It just awful. But the show was excellent.
That show was up there with Batman the Animated Series.
It was. And then they canceled it because they wanted to rein it in and make it more like the movie, and the show stinks.
Yep.
What a tragedy! What a tragedy!
Very unfortunate.
Anyway.
All right, so folks, as we are a bit long in the tooth already,
Get ready.
Yeah, this is going to be a news only episode because we've got 2 weeks of news to catch up on. Lots of stuff. Geez, where to start?
Where to start?
We'll go back. Do you want to start most show relevant or just kind of build to that?
Might as well lead with it.
Yep. All right, folks. Daredevil Season 3 is happening October. I believe it's 19th.
Yep.
Comes out.
Yes, sir.
And oh boy, the teasers. We still haven't even gotten like a full trailer yet.
Things are happening.
All they've given us are little teasers here and there.
Like character vignettes almost.
Yeah. And folks. Folks, listen. I feel bad because clearly Jessica Jones is not going to get, Jessica Jones Season 2 is not going to get the full treatment.
We'll finish it.
We're gonna finish it.
It's gonna take. We're gonna have to double up episodes.
Whether it's gonna be either double up episode or we just do one big episode, knocking the whole thing out at once.
Yeah.
It's gonna get done, but it's not gonna get like the pure.
That's okay.
Devil's Due treatment. Because, folks, the show's The Devil's Due. It was founded on the basis of the Daredevil show.
We want to deliver timely critique and analysis of Daredevil Season 3, so I think our plan is going to be to finish out Jessica Jones Season 3 as quickly as possible, as close to the release of Daredevil as we can, so that when we can we can start our Daredevil Season 3 coverage as soon as it premieres.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the plan.
Oh boy, Drew.
Yeah.
All the things.
Yeah.
Let's just
Matt is turning to the dark side.
Yeah, it's
a bit.
I need to
which makes me kind of like the things he's saying in the show. It's like, dude, Frank told you all this in Season 2 and you wanted to play all high and mighty. How things have turned.
I wonder if Frank's gonna...
I've heard that they're not crossing over anything in this season.
Really?
Yeah, it's strictly Daredevil.
Huh.
Which, it makes sense.
Kind of hope that's not the case.
Depends on the story they want to tell.
Well, we're getting Fisk back.
Oh, are we ever?
And he's in white.
Okay, it's awesome. I'm not going to lie. It's great. I feel like they could have chosen a less shiny fabric. It looked a little costume
I
shop-ish.
think it's because they're just shooting him against a white background. So you have to have some.
But they could have. It looked a little chintzy, but that's okay. It's D'Onofrio, and we know it's going to be awesome.
At least it's no ascot.
I mean, if you're going to give him a chintzy white shiny suit, you might as well give him the ascot at this point.
No.
Oh, come on.
No.
Let him have it.
No.
Let him have the ascot.
No. Give him the cane with the diamond on it.
Oh,
I'm all for that.
That's okay, but an ascot's a bridge too far. Okay, sure.
So yeah, this season looks dark.
It does.
And that's saying something for this show. Yeah, I definitely need to I gotta I'm still only one episode into Iron Fist Season 2.
I got 2 in, and I gotta tell you, I'm 2 in, and I don't know that I care enough to finish it again. And from what I've heard, you only really need to watch the later episodes. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 10 episodes.
Then I might just skip to 8 and see what happens, because that's what from what I've been told. No spoilers. Honestly, no spoilers.
Yeah.
Nothing happens, and then in the end, it all happens, and it's good. So if I can go ahead and avoid multi-episodes of the Meachums, I'm for that.
So we will be putting out a poll on Twitter. What season would you rather us review? Iron Fist Season 2 or Daredevil Season 3?
I don't care what the results are. We are not doing Iron Fist Season 2. I'm just going to tell you right now.
So, yeah.
And I say that as a staunch fan of Ed Brubaker and Matt Fraction's Iron Fist comic run.
Yes,
and that's why I'm so sad that the show is so terrible.
I've got to acquire Do you have Born Again in trade?
I do, and I think I
gave away my copy for our 100th episode.
Without stepping on your toes, I think the plan might be, or should be maybe, that we might want to touch on that before Daredevil Season 3 starts, to maybe give people a little primer of where they might go.
That's an idea.
Because they are allegedly basing Season 3 on that, to some degree.
I feel bad. We're going to be shortchanging Jessica Jones so badly.
Nah, we'll be fine.
Okay, so that's happening. Daredevil Season 3 finally happening. Okay, so a couple weeks ago, classics is the trend in the video game world, and Sony is jumping on that bandwagon. They announced the PlayStation Classic. They say it's going to have 20 games built in. They're following the classic model, smaller version of the original system with pre-programmed games on it.
Yep.
20 games, $100.
I think that's actually a fair price for a 32-bit platform. I mean, you're getting some games with some meat on the bones. Although here, if I have any reservations, and I think I'm not alone in saying this, here's the problem. They say 20 games.
Yeah.
They announce this thing's happening. They give you a price point, and they list 5 of those games.
Yeah.
Which leaves 15 of them up in the air. Wouldn't you want to tell us what those are? Which leads me to feel that they didn't tell us, because I got a bad feeling it's going to be a very underwhelming lineup of games.
Potentially, yes.
Because if you had a stacked lineup of, let's just call a few out here, I don't know, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Metal Gear Solid, etc.
Well, Metal Gear Solid was announced.
Was it?
Yes.
Check again. I don't think it was. I don't think
check again.
Okay, well,
I believe the ones announced were Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy VII, Ridge Racer. Although, I mean,
Ridge Racer.
You can't do a PlayStation Classic without Ridge Racer.
Tekken 3, I think, was announced for it. Okay, hey, I'm pulling it up right now.
Yep.
Oh, sir, how wrong you are.
I'm never wrong. I'm just delayed in being right.
Interesting. Wow, that's a Trumpism if I ever heard one. No,
if it was Trumpism, I would have just said I'm never wrong.
Touche, sir. Touche. No, the games announced were Final Fantasy VII, Tekken 3, Ridge Racer Type 4, Jumping Flash, and Wild Arms. So
Jumping Flash, there's no need for Jumping Flash to be on there.
So I say again, if you had the big guns, you might have wanted to lead with those.
Yep.
So that, again, gives me the fear that they're going to have a pretty lackluster lineup on that bad boy.
So, throw out a couple games you want to see on it.
Obviously Metal Gear Solid, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. If those are on it, that is a day one purchase for me. Even though I have them on other consoles, I have my original discs and my PlayStation, but in a nice little cool form factor, definite automatic buy. I feel like Twisted Metal has to be represented in some form on that thing. That franchise was huge.
But 2 was probably the best way to go.
So there you go. I mean, I wouldn't mind some more besides Final Fantasy VII. So, like a deep pull for me might be Vagrant Story. That was a cool game that Square did. It would be silly if one of the Resident Evils wasn't on there in its original incarnation.
Yeah.
Even though they've remastered them countless times since, but I mean, classic is classic, and maybe Resident Evil 3, maybe maybe 2.
I would say 2 is probably the apex of the series on the first PlayStation.
Here's the problem. They're making the 2 remaster right now. So do they want to step on its toes?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot of reasons why, you have business reasons why this might not happen to the degree that we want. So you got the Resident Evil 2 remaster happening for PlayStation 4, sorry. And then in the case of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, they're doing the combo reissue with Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood for PlayStation 4 and everything else this end of this month. They're re-releasing those for PlayStation 4. Do you want to release them on the Classic and re-release it on PlayStation 4?
True.
Probably not. So
I've never played Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Oh,
I've never played a Castlevania game all the way through.
Symphony of the Night. Music, graphics.
I've heard
gameplay,
the music is fantastic.
It is a masterpiece game. It is phenomenal. It is that and Super Metroid are like they're probably my 1A and 1B favorite games ever. I love them to death. They are that good. They are so good. Metroidvania is my favorite genre of game, and they are the crowning jewel. They are the crown jewels of the whole thing. So, yeah, you want to play Symphony of the Night. I'm going to sit you down and play Symphony of the Night with you sometimes.
So, as far as what I'd like to see on it, I'm going to go a little bit deeper cuts.
By all means.
I'm guessing I was much more into PlayStation than
you probably were, yeah.
One of the launch games for PlayStation, which is an all-time favorite of mine, a game called Destruction Derby.
Oh, yeah.
It was a demolition derby game.
Man, that takes me back. Oh, my God.
Oh, man, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was like there was a bowl mode where it was just a big round bowl, and you had to try to survive for as long as you could. The cars handled great. There was just forward and backwards as far as the controls go. There was there was a figure 8 track where you crisscross in the middle and you're racing. You're hoping you make it through that middle section. It was great. Role playing games, obviously Final Fantasy VII is
the one.
It's legendary. Its gold jacket is guaranteed. It's received it by now. There are two that come to mind that I would play before playing Final Fantasy VII again.
I'm going to assume Tactics is one of them.
No.
Oh.
That's actually reminds me. I'll throw Tactics on there because that game was fantastic. Legend of Dragoon.
Oh, okay.
Which was a Sony Studios RPG that was just amazing. Loved it. Probably one of the most unique battle systems I've ever seen in a game. And Xenogears. Xenogears was the follow-up, Square's follow-up to Final Fantasy VII. And Final Fantasy VII kind of overshadowed it, but Xenogears, man, that game was 70 hours, easy. Final battle took up 45 minutes.
Dang.
It was incredible. So great.
I feel like Parappa the Rappa has to be on there too.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, that was a big deal when it came out.
You know what game I'd love to see on there? Probably won't be on there. The original Driver.
Yeah.
Driver was great. Gran Turismo 2.
See, again, these are all you're making a lot of sense to me. I question how many of these will actually be out.
Well, I mean, if it doesn't have a Gran Turismo game on it, that's bad because Sony owns that.
Yeah, but there could be a car licensing issue that, you know what I mean? They had all legit cars in there, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That could be a problem.
That was like
that could be a big
that's
problem.
That's what made Gran Turismo was that it was a pure simulator.
See, this is the one drawback, in my opinion, to a lot of the one drawback of the CD era, basically, and forward, as games got more and more. And the realism era, if you will. Yeah. As games have gotten more and more realistic, they've included, actual CD audio.
Yeah.
They've licensed more and more music. They've licensed more and more cars in this case or whatever. And what you run into is later on, you have a hard time re-releasing these games in their original form because those licenses have expired.
Yeah, I could see that.
So, I think it was one of the Grand Theft Autos, they can't re-release it again because half the music that they licensed for the game, they can't license again to put it out.
Yeah.
So they have to replace it. And then, to me, that's not the original game. You've altered the game.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Valid points. I think that's pretty much...
That's cool. I dig it.
I can
like
see
your selection there.
I can see one of the Street Fighter Alphas making it on there.
Maybe
they're going to throw, because that was really the only. Granted, there was Street Fighter Alpha 2 on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
In-fight loading times on a cartridge game.
Isn't that bananas? Well,
but I could definitely see that was kind of like the only system you could really get those on.
I wonder if the load times will be improved.
Probably not.
I mean, it's not spinning a disc anymore. It's all internal memory. So wouldn't it just bang bang?
One can hope.
We'll see.
So yeah,
Okay.
It's all right. PlayStation Classic coming out, being on the shelves this holiday season. Okay, so we spoke about Transformers earlier in the show, and I love the original Generation 1 Transformers. Drew, you know what I don't love? I don't love Michael Bay Transformers.
You're not alone.
Because
you know who does? China.
Yeah.
They love it. Love it.
They're really bad.
Yeah.
Like, the story of the first one wasn't horrible, but just the visual design of the Transformers themselves is just so terrible.
And not to mention the, poor filmmaking.
I mean...
And writing.
I don't need a Transformers film to be Shakespeare.
Do you need a Transformers film to have a Bumblebee that urinates on someone?
Yeah, that's true. And granted, I believe it was the third film that took a plot directly from one of the cartoon episodes.
Oh.
And still managed to screw it up.
Fancy that.
Yeah. All the way up until the most recent one, where one of the plot is that, I guess, Earth is Unicron.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah. So there have been... I
can just make stuff up too, Carl.
Yeah.
My house is a Decepticon. There. Prove me wrong.
I mean, I can't. The Decepticons have been clearly at work in our modern world.
Yeah.
See reviews for Star Wars Last Jedi. So there have been diminishing box office returns, diminishing box office returns for the Transformers for some time. And as the global box office has increased in value over recent years, the domestic box office is still not to be sneezed at. So they decide to do a spin-off film, a Bumblebee spin-off film. Now, I can't stand the way they've elevated Bumblebee in these films to begin with.
Okay.
And how they've decided to give him a spin-off film. So I was like, I don't care. And then they announced that it was going to be set in the 80s. And I was like, I don't care. And then they announced that Bumblebee in it will be his classic Generation 1 vehicle mode Volkswagen Beetle. And I still didn't care.
That didn't even get you in the door.
Didn't even get me in the door.
Wow, okay. All right.
And then they dropped the trailer on us.
How you feel now?
And in the trailer, they show legit Generation 1 Transformers.
Yeah.
You see Optimus Prime.
Red truck mode.
As Optimus Prime is supposed to appear. You see Soundwave. Eject.
He's a boombox.
He ejects Ravage. And Ravage looks like Ravage.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this, I'm like, it's amazing. Michael Bay has done so much damage that I'm finally getting what I want, and I still don't care.
Wow. Oh, my God. This is not the reaction I expected from you. I thought this might be the selling point. This might be the one that warms your bitter black heart.
It's still it's still extremely steeped in that Bayverse.
Is it though? I mean, it's a prequel, so it doesn't have to be.
It's a prequel to the Bay films,
but it's like a soft reboot almost.
I mean, you can kind of hope that it might be, but he's still heavily involved with it. You look at the trailer, it's still his visual style. It's like saying the second Ninja Turtles movie wasn't technically a Michael Bay movie. It was a Michael Bay movie.
We're talking about the new ones, by the way.
Yeah.
Not the Vanilla Ice.
No.
Okay, just checking.
You watch.
You dare besmirch.
Yeah. No,
Turtles 2.
God, no.
Okay.
Go Ninja, go. And so it's just like...
All right.
If you showed me an entire trailer of the brief little snippets, which I'm sure are just going to be a couple flashback scenes,
yeah,
then I might get excited.
All right, fair enough.
But the damage has been done, man, over I think 5 films. Yeah, 5 films, and I've watched them all because at some point they come to Netflix, and I get a little masochistic.
You should probably stop that.
I mean, you know,
There's more fun ways to be masochistic than to watch those movies.
it probably is. But yeah, it's the Generation 1 designs look great. It's what I always wanted out of a live action Transformers film.
That's why you should be happy.
It drives me crazy that Bumblebee still doesn't talk. There's no.
Wait, I thought John Cena was the voice of Bumblebee.
No, he's an actor in the film.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I see him?
Yes.
Then it can't be John Cena. It's someone else.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, like I don't even mind as much the design of the way Bumblebee looks when he's in robot mode.
Yeah.
Because it's a little closer to kind of the IDW redesigns, which weren't horrible.
They look like they're supposed to look. They have identifiable, unique appearances with colors on them. You know, instead of just being giant scrap heaps of whatever they were in the Bay movies. Because, yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to go see this movie, but I got to admit that when I saw the G1 designs, I was like, oh, now you're coming around.
We got to see like Optimus, Soundwave, Ravage, Shockwave. Saw some of the Seekers.
Must clarify, it's probably not Starscream that we saw.
No, it is not.
Yeah. You give me Starscream, well, then...
But we did get to see the Seekers, albeit in Jet mode. The Seekers are Starscream, Skywarp, and Thundercracker. In Jet mode, and it's very close to their Cybertronian Jet modes from the cartoon series. So I'm like, just give me a movie of this, please.
Yeah.
So
all right. Bumblebee.
Moving on. We'll see what happens. As might as well stay in the trailer park.
Sure.
Drew, we got our first Dark Phoenix trailer. Not, mind you, X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Oh, no.
Just Dark Phoenix, because we got to start cleaning up that brand, Drew. And the first step to cleaning it up is taking that name off subpar products.
Well, here's the thing. That's how I feel about it. Like that would be if I were Kevin Feige, I'd be on the phone like, I don't care what you call it, but you don't put X-Men.
Don't call it.
However, do you really want to know why they did that?
Why?
It's even dumber than that.
Oh, okay.
Because Logan. Because Logan came out and it was just Logan and everyone liked it and it was a good movie. And the director, Simon Kinberg, who also wrote it, who, mind you, and this is going to come back in our discussion here, also wrote The Last Stand, X-Men The Last Stand, as in X-Men The Last time the movies were any good was the one before The Last Stand.
Yeah.
Logan made money, and the director, writer, Simon Kinberg, said that they wanted to get across the gravity of this is Phoenix's movie. It's centered on her. We want to have a very distinct title, and we don't need the X-Men to clutter it up. Or it's a character piece, really.
Yeah, no.
Logan made money, and someone said we're just going to call it Dark Phoenix.
Logan made money because he made an R-rated Wolverine movie,
and it happened. And
it was good.
It happened to be good. Yeah,
it was good.
If it's good, it helps. Trust me.
Yeah.
They're deluding themselves. I saw this trailer, and I just thought, I don't care about any of this.
Yeah, it's just like...
they just introduced Jean Grey in the last movie, right?
Yeah. And
why should I have any...
and Cyclops...
And they were minor characters. Minor.
Yeah.
So, like, why should I get on board for this, Dark Phoenix movie that I'm supposed to care about? Like, I don't know these characters. Who are these people? Sorry, I'm just going to... And as cool as it is in theory...
Go gadget rage.
Yeah, no. Dude, I have more apathy than anything about this. I'm just going to throw this out there. As cool as it is in theory, to me personally, that they are using a TV budget version of the Frank Quitely costumes.
Yeah.
Because I saw the close-ups. They don't look that good. They look kind of crappy, actually. The irony of that is that in the last movie, which I also didn't see, by the way, but I saw the pictures.
You didn't miss much.
They gave us a version of the 90s costumes that everyone knows and loves.
Yeah.
Finally,
Yep.
in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that movie took place, what, in the 80s? Am I wrong? Yes, 80s. Because all these are still kind of prequel-y. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Dark Phoenix takes place in the 90s. When those costumes, folks, by the way, I'm like waving my arms around and pointing.
Yep.
This is an audio medium, so you can't even see that, so I'm just going to stop. This movie takes place in the 90s.
Yep.
When those costumes were like the thing. When you think X-Men, you think of those 90s costumes. This movie takes place in the 90s. This would be the place you want to use those. And the irony of using the Morrison costumes that Frank Quitely designs is that they were a reaction to the first X-Men movie that came out before they got on the book. We have the snake is eating its tail, folks.
I believe it was Van Halen who once said, "Here we go, round, round, round."
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was never huge on the Quietly costumes. They just didn't do anything for me. It's not that they were like, I didn't think they were horrible. They just didn't do anything for me. Like if you're gonna put them in like uniform costumes, put them in those old yellow and blues that they all wore for a spell.
Well, not for nothing, but Negasonic Teenage Warhead wears something like that in the Deadpool movie.
Yep.
Anyway, that was a silly point, but the movie itself, dude, I mean, I can't be the only one. I watched it, and I just thought, this looks like The Last Stand warmed over. You reheated The Last Stand.
There hasn't been an X-Men movie that I've been legitimately excited for
since
the third one.
And then, as we know...
Then I watched the third one, and yeah. Like... So since then, you got, Wolverine Origins. And then you got First Class. First Class was good. Okay. But I wasn't like super excited about it beforehand. I was like,
right.
Yeah, it was like it, and he was great in it.
Sure.
We got like a really good Magneto and whatnot. And
yeah.
And then they just kind of kept getting blah.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah, like.
Days of Future Past wasn't awful.
Days of Future Past was kind of like a love letter to the series while trying to fix what happened in Last Stand.
Yeah, they kind of wanted to wash that one away.
Yeah. So, but even the execution in that wasn't great. And just the Apocalypse, just no. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The only reason I forgive Oscar Isaac for that is because he's Poe Dameron. I love me some Poe Dameron.
Hey, speaking of Oscar Isaac, I watched Ex Machina last week too.
Yeah,
the movie.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Good.
It's pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah, he plays a real jerk in it.
All right.
Spoilers.
So yeah, I feel bad for Alan because Alan is such a diehard X-Men fan.
Yeah.
And when this trailer came out, he mentions it as like, "What do you mean? No Shi'ar, no Starjammers?" I'm like, we were both kind of had the same reaction. Like, dude, you were never getting anywhere close.
Did you hear the rumor that Lilandra is in the movie? And there is some cosmic tie to the Phoenix Force?
Sure.
But, is that enough to say
No. No.
Yeah.
Because you know what it's ultimately going to boil down to? X-Men versus Magneto.
Yeah, probably.
That's what all these films
Mystique. Don't forget
into.
Mystique, because she's important because reasons.
Mystique is the equivalent of movie Bumblebee. A minor character who's been elevated to a position that is baffling. A character that is important to the story, to the franchise, to the lore of the story.
But they're batting above their average.
So far above their average.
Yeah, I feel you. This in wrestling parlance, this is when you give a push to a mid-carder and you put him in the main event and he's clearly in over his head.
Yeah.
But you keep trying to make it a thing. And everyone's like, we don't want this to be a thing. But they keep trying anyway. Yeah. Like the Billy Gunn King of the Ring run. They tried to give Billy Gunn that main event push, and it's just no. We like Billy Gunn over here. He's over here, down here. Not up here.
No. All right. So yeah, Dark Phoenix. That's the thing. It'll happen.
It's a thing. It'll happen. Okay. Thank you.
It's like we can safely say it's a movie that will happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
We cannot promise you anything beyond that.
So speaking of movies that will happen, is what's next what I think it is?
No, because we're staying with trailers.
Okay.
And that wasn't necessarily a trailer.
Fair enough.
Today, we got a new trailer for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
We did.
And Drew, I mean, this movie just looks like it's going to be fun.
It looks super fun.
Because we're getting Spider-Ham in a film. I want to call out Dan Larson, who we had on the show, who you can find at Toy Galaxy. Yep. They got great stuff. You should check them out. And he had a tweet today that just spoke volumes about where we are in the world right now. He said, "We're living in a world where Spider-Ham is about to appear in a feature film, and there is no clear path for Batman or Superman."
2018, everybody.
2018. So, yeah. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse looks like a lot of fun. The film is visually stunning. The animation style looks fantastic. We're getting classic 616 Spider-Man, Miles Morales Spider-Man, Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Ham, and Spider-Gwen.
Yeah. Yeah, if I
guess in the film is called Ghost Spider, which is a much better name than Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, it kind of gives away your secret identity if you just go by Spider-Gwen.
Little bit.
Hi, I'm Super Clark. How are you?
I'm Super Clark. I'm Bat Bruce.
Hi, Bat Wayne. How are you?
Bat Wayne. I like Bat Bruce better.
Fair enough. Bruce Man.
I'm Spider Peter.
I am Bruce Man. Anyway, yeah. It looks super fun. The stuff with Miles and his dad. It's like this movie just has it's got a lot of charm and it shows.
Yeah.
So it looks very, very cool.
It looks like Sony is going, we've got nothing to lose. Let's just swing for the fences on all of it.
Kinda, yeah. So fun observation and factoid. I wouldn't call this 616 Spidey, but what was pointed out to me.
Yes,
and
I
if
saw
you watch
this
the trailer.
Too. Yeah.
Do you know what Spidey it is?
It's very possibly Tobey Maguire.
It's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man,
which I'm okay with because that character got a raw deal in the third movie.
Well, the whole thing got a raw deal in the third movie. But yeah, that's pretty neat that they would acknowledge that. Like that's kind of cool. Like it's a cartoon continuation in a way.
Yeah.
The only thing I wasn't crazy about, Peter Parker's voice.
I mean, it's not the stereotypical Spider-Man voice. I don't hate it.
He sounded a little schlubby, and that's just not how Peter Parker should ever come across.
He sounds fine.
I guess.
It's perfectly serviceable. They don't have Marvel Studios money to be thrown at this thing. It's an animated Spider-Man film.
I'm just saying, get a.
They got to put money into that Venom movie, Drew.
I think they should cut their losses on the Venom movie, Carl. You want to just go there? You want to just go there?
Yeah, we can go there. I guess the
so
Spider-Man...
from one Spider extreme to the other.
Yes, the Into the Spider-Verse comes out in theaters this Christmas, I believe. I believe Nicolas Cage is voicing Spider-Man Noir.
He is.
Yes. And I just love...
I'm more of a spider protector.
I love the scene at the end of the trailer where they're trying to hide from the one guy and they're like all crawling in unison, one side the ceiling to the other. And then the guy in the chair finally notices him. Spider-Man's like, do animals talk in this dimension? I don't want to freak them out. So, yeah, it's going to be cool. I expect like a lot of surprises. Some deep cut Spidey stuff.
I hope the Japanese Spider-Man is in this movie.
Spider-Man?
With the robot? And
yeah.
Sure. Why not?
The comic series Spider-Verse was kind of crazy because like there were like deep cuts in there. Like the old Spider-Man animated series Spider-Man, like the Spider-Man.
That one,
yeah. He was in the comic series. Spider-Man and Amazing Friends Spider-Man was like any iteration of Spider-Man you could think of made like at least a cameo appearance
Neat.
in that comic series. It was really cool. So yeah, from one Spider Extreme to another. Oh, Drew, the first reactions of Venom are out in the world.
I'll tell you mine. Nope.
That's a glowing review compared to some of the stuff that's being said about this movie. The one phrase that immediately pokes out is Catwoman-esque levels of badness.
Now, see, that is very, very damning. Like,
yes.
Wow. Can that? I mean, as the resident Devil's Due cynic,
yes,
even I am like, no, come on, it can't be that bad.
It's not like we're going to pay the money to find out.
I suppose not. I mean, yeah, granted, it does look just awful in the previews, but like Catwoman level bad. I mean, that takes real effort. Then again, every time I hear Tom Hardy talk, I think it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Are you current on Fat Man on Batman, or as it is
Fat
now,
Man Beyond,
Fat Man
sir?
Beyond?
Bite your tongue. I think I am.
Like because Kevin Smith said
It's been a couple weeks since there's been a new episode.
I
think
like last week was the newest episode.
Okay.
Kevin Smith said he did some stuff for the Venom DVD because they put the DVDs together like before the films.
Wow. Okay.
And he was told some of the stuff that happened in the film. Like there's your level of cynicism, and then there's my level of hopefulness, and then there's Kevin Smith's level of hopefulness.
He loves everything.
He does tend to love everything. He doesn't like to crap on stuff, and to a point I can get that. And he said like they do something in the last part of the film that like got him to buy in on the film. So they didn't show it to him, they told him about it. I'm just like it's all Jaws without the shark, because if you don't have Spider-Man, I don't care.
Yeah, I hear you there. I'm with you. I don't know specifics about it, but apparently there's something. One of the post-credit scenes, because of course they have to have them, is apparently, oh my god! But which is
probably Carnage, if I had to guess.
Like, I just assume Carnage at this point. I don't like that's. You're not going to blow my mind with that revelation. I knew that the moment you announced Venom. Like, you're probably going to throw Carnage in there. Although we cast Woody Harrelson. He's probably playing Cletus Cassidy. I'm just saying.
I wouldn't not like to see that though. Like,
no, that's the only thing that's like, okay, you have my attention here, kind of. But the rest, I mean, just get out of here.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Once the turd in the wind line got uttered in the trailer, I was like, all right, I'm out of here.
I'm done.
It's like that scene in the Robot Chicken Star Wars special where Luke just goes like, look, if you're not going to take this seriously, I'm out of here.
Okay, so last week the week before we had a first look at the Joker film, at Joaquin Phoenix and Joker film.
Yeah.
And last week we got a look at the Joker, air quotes, proper, as we got our first shot of him in the makeup. Now...
And some set footage has come out, too.
And a little bit of set footage. So, it's very good chance this is not final form makeup.
I don't know, because I don't know what they're going for here.
Yeah. I mean, I think it can go either way. But everything from the neck down is great.
I'd say even his general facial structure and demeanor works. I just can't get behind the nose paint, dude.
Yeah.
That's really all it is for me.
Because you know what it is? Basically, they're doing the face paint of one of the masks that thugs wore in the bank robbery scene from Dark Knight.
Right. It's a new take. You know what it's not? It's not tattoos and a grill.
Fair.
So you know what?
It's a step up. It's a step forward.
Now, we've been on the record saying this movie's not going to happen, and here it is happening. at its period, and I know what they're. I guess I've heard what they're trying to go for here, like a real demented, serious take of him,
as opposed to the lighthearted fare we've had
right?
with the character recently in film.
So I guess I'm, look, by no means am I anticipating this movie, but if you have some new interesting angle on it, I guess I'll pay attention. But ultimately, all you do with the Joker, the more you do these things with him, you take away his aura.
Yeah.
See also Wolverine. I'm sorry, but the origin ruined Wolverine. It did. Sorry, it did. Mm-hmm. And like what we don't know is better than what you're going to come up with and tell me. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. Mystery adds to the character. So now you're giving them like these definitive. His name was Arthur Fleck. A Fleck, get it? Ha ha. I don't know. I think you take his power away the more you reveal him.
I mean, I would love to see that the movie like ends with the sequence from The Killing Joke. That's the like origin story.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole like Batman shows up at the end of the film and like not he shows up in a way that he is perceived by the criminal element of Gotham as this creature.
Sure.
Chasing, Arthur through Acme Chemical Factory and getting dumped in the acid. And then we get that classic scene from The Killing Joke of like him crawling out of the pipe and looking at himself, a reflection in the water, and then the laughter, and then like the holding the head laughter, credits.
Sure.
I would like to see that. I'm just like, I don't know about this film. I don't know. Like I've always said you put your Joker's the storm, and you don't make a movie about the storm. You make a movie about dealing with the storm and the heroes that you put in the path of the storm.
Okay.
So I'm interested to see where this goes.
Well, if you don't like this Joker movie, Carl, I have good news for you.
Stop.
They're making like 3 other ones. And apparently Jared Leto is going to be back in another one.
Hopefully they fix how he looks.
Not related to this one, the one we just talked about.
Yeah.
Because, sure, why not have multiple Joker movies that don't tie together at all?
Which Jared Leto's performance was not horrible. It's just the visual.
Which even the director admitted was a step too far.
Like, maybe
well, gee,
too far.
Way to own up now, pal.
Okay, so we did have some unfortunate news this week. Comic book artist Norm Brayfogle passed away. I believe at way too young an age of 56. I think he either had Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. I can't remember.
That is a bummer.
Which one? He is most famous for being the artist on Batman and Detective Comics in the 90s.
I would have to say he's got to be like the 90s Batman artist, right?
Yeah, pretty much. He is... he's probably my all-time favorite Batman artist.
That's saying a lot.
Favorite Batman artist. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love me some Neil Adams. Neil Adams is great.
I'm a Jim Aparo guy, but
yeah, he was like when I really started collecting comics, he was the artist on. Like one of the first issues of Detective I bought was the first appearance of Scarface, the character he created, or I believe co-created. He has very distinct style that is very good with action and motion, and he will definitely be missed. We've lost some significant creative talent over the past month or so from comics. Who was it just died either yesterday or the day before? One of the co-creators of Judge Dredd.
Yeah, that too.
One of the, you know what, I'm really sorry that I didn't write these names down because they've had significant places in comics history. One of the co-creators of Ghost Rider passed away. Yeah, it's just I'll go back. I'm going to go back and find out these names so we can do a proper next week.
Well, the bad news is, unfortunately, like a lot of that stuff that is now pop culturally relevant due to the rise of all this stuff.
Yeah,
those guys were all making it in the 60s and 70s, and at that time there's going to be a lot more of these somber soliloquies.
Unfortunately,
so hopefully we'll get their names right.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just looking at my list here. So yeah, last thing we got, and this was like, this is older, but I don't think we covered it on the show. Disney announced that they are pumping the brakes on Star Wars.
Yeah.
Bob Iger said himself that having 2 Star Wars films 6 months apart was not the best idea.
And hey, Bob, cheers, buddy. I could have told you that before that.
Yeah, so anything, from what I understand, like Rian Johnson's trilogy is still in development. The trilogy from the guys who do Game of Thrones is still in development. Anything else is currently on hold.
Except the TV show.
Well, yeah, TV, because that's going to a Disney streaming service,
sure.
And so that's going to happen. But right now, the next thing that's confirmed to be released is going to be episode 9, which will be December 2019, I believe.
Yes, that is correct. See, and you know how this could have been avoided? Push Solo back to this coming Christmas.
Yeah. When they had
just own the holiday, man. You own everything else.
Yeah.
Just own Christmas.
When they had to move it, I was very surprised that they moved it up and not back. But yeah, and I mentioned to you before we started that I watched Solo again last night, and it's great.
It's an enjoyable movie.
See, it's aggravating to me. Like and we've had this discussion a bunch in the past. Like, I am fine with 1 Star Wars film a year. Most of the times not so much. It's aggravating me. Like, Solo is looked at as this gigantic failure. I'm like, it didn't make. They're like, oh, it didn't make any money. I'm like, yeah, it didn't make as much money as other films named Star Wars. Which means it made more money than most every other film not named Star Wars.
But I know. But,
But given it was the most expensive Star Wars film to make, because you essentially made 2 movies. Yeah.
Yep, I hear you. Now you're sad. I'm happy. Good. Pump the brakes. Make Star Wars special. Do it right. Give it the proper respect it deserves. This is a good call, and I'm okay with it. So now you've got a solid year, well over a year now, to get the hype machine ready for episode 9.
Yeah. Like I said, I was perfectly fine with 1 Star Wars film a year. Like, I'll be the first to admit that Star Wars films 6 months apart, even I don't want that.
It's a little tight.
Yeah, it's a little much. But, we've got the Disney streaming service is going to launch. They're going to have a live-action Star Wars show on that, plus the new animated show.
Yeah.
Which a new trailer came out for it, and it just looks... It's interesting because it does not look like Star Wars a lot. Like, the ships in it are very specifically different designs. And it's just... I'm interested to see where they're going to go with it. Like, I'm anxious to kind of jump on board with the Disney streaming service because... I really want to finish Rebels. I watched the first season, but I never got to watch the subsequent seasons because we kind of cut the cord after that. But I definitely want to see where these 2 shows are going to go. But yeah, not as much Star Wars as before.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. Oh man. There were some legacy films I was interested in. Like, I was really kind of hoping they were going to do an Obi-Wan Kenobi legacy film. And
I'm good. I'm all good.
See what happens with that. I think that does it for us.
Really?
It's.
I mean, it was a lot, but
Yeah, it was a lot.
I felt like there might be more.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Let me just double check the webs really quickly.
Did we talk about at on our last episode? We might have, and I'm forgetting because I do forget things. The Watchmen TV show announcement.
No, we did not.
Oh,
yeah. So Drew,
yeah,
they made an announcement about the Watchmen TV show.
Okay, so I went from cautiously optimistic to this show. I'm willing to give it. I said before Lindelof even said what they were doing, that the best thing you could do is to come at it with a new angle, a new interpretation, a new version of it. Don't just adapt it verbatim because that's risky and probably not worth your time. And then, we find out that it's like a backdoor sequel to the comic book. Okay, interesting angle. Good. So I'm cautiously optimistic. Then they go and totally find a way to make me absolutely, positively excited about the show. It will be scored by none other than Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, better known as Nine Inch Nails. Granted, they will not be billed as Nine Inch Nails scoring the show. Trent and Atticus have done The Social Network, Girl Dragon Tattoo, I think they did, Gone Girl, several other movies, the Vietnam War documentary, and, basically amazing work. I'm a huge Nine Inch Nails fan, and I love the more atmospheric, soundtracky stuff too. So to me, having them involved, scoring this is like instant, okay, you have my attention. Because if you have Trent's attention, it's probably worth checking out. So yeah, just give it to me now. I'm very curious. I cannot wait to listen to that. Especially, I say this as someone who's going to see Nine Inch Nails in about 11 days. So,
cool.
Get hype. I'm very, 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 very hype for that show.
Nice.
Oh, so hype.
All right. That just about does it for us here.
All right.
This news edition of The Devil's Due.
All the news.
The Cobra Island 3.0 studio.
It'll be a little spiffier next time you're down here, I promise.
Spiffy. Okay, folks, if you would like to reach out to us and communicate to the show, have questions and comments read on the show, you can do so at the following locations. You can go to Twitter and follow us at Devil's Due Pod. You can go to Facebook.com/Devil's Due Pod and like our page. You can email us at the Devil's Due Pod, or you can find all these resources available to you on our website, thedevilsdupodcast.com. Drew, that being said, any closing statements?
No. What do you think of the new arrangement here?
I like it.
All right.
It's good.
Okay, it's gonna get better. Promise.
Beginning of something grand.
I hope. Let's hope.
Cool.
All right,
folks. Thank you for joining us. See you next week. Till then, court is